Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
We are live for a ECW Heatwave 1998 review show. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in this awesome panel we got for tonight. Starting off first, John Cena's number one fan, Dan Shine.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I never said I didn't like John Cena. I respect him. Not a huge fan, but I do have his autograph.
Well, see, that's why you should have voted for him at least. I don't see no Cesaro autograph anywhere around.
I have never actually. I've been to shows with him, but I've never actually met him to get his autograph. I've actually been to a lot of shows with him, but it never happened.
Well, I'm curious to see what happens with him.
I think you'll be finding something out fairly soon.
Yeah. New Japan show, maybe?
That's a possibility.
Or Double or Nothing. Is that the next? That's the next pay-per-view, right? Double or Nothing?
Yeah. They'll hopefully they make it impactful with him.
Yeah, it'd be nice. And we got Corey from S'mores and Doors. How are you?
What's up, everyone? It's good to be here.
What's up?
Always fun to talk some wrestling.
Yeah.
ECW.
Yeah.
We got Orc 145626.
What's up, faggots? You know what I'm on right there, baby.
Not dude.
I've been pissing more than a fucking Kentucky racehorse. There you go.
You have to chug it and then stun somebody. I don't know. What move would you do after chugging a Mountain Dew?
5-star frog splash. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you need a setup though.
Shooting star press like Billy Kidman.
There you go. So you knee somebody right in the face and break their nose.
Something extreme. Yeah.
And then
land on my head like Brock. Fuck it.
Oh yeah. Fuck that.
I remember watching that when it happened, was being like, "Holy shit!"
He's like right here, and he's just like, "Woo!" And you're just like, "You missed him."
We got a couple late entries. Jonathan, Mr. Bombastic. I can't talk.
What's
Mr. Bombastic.
What up, homies? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Is that AC like stupidly loud in the background?
Nah, I can't hear it.
Nah, I don't hear it.
Not too bad.
I'm having some technical issues with the computer, so I'm going to have to do this on the couch.
You got 4 monitors. You can't figure it out?
Monitors weren't the problem.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Mr. Jay the Stingray.
Hey, what's up, guys? I was actually having some computer issues myself.
Well, that's all right.
Sorry I'm late. And I think I just realized this is a review, not a commentary.
Review.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to be much help on this one, but I'll hang back and just kind of bullshit with you guys. I totally misunderstood.
I'm sure we'll go off script at some point.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, we can do this going forward. Anyway, if y'all would rather do the review show or a watch along, we can whatever. It doesn't matter.
I just misunderstood. I would have watched it beforehand. I mean, if I've seen it, it's been like since '98. So.
Yeah, we can do it either way. It don't matter to me. Whatever you guys want to do.
Absolutely.
But got Corey in the chat. What's going on?
Come on, Orc.
Orc Dust. And Cable Channel 11.
Shout out, Jess Graham.
They made Jonathan leave. Jesus.
No. Come on.
Triggered
You
by
remembered
that
the name
Gold
of
Dust.
Dust. Yeah.
He was
Got
just tired of
triggered.
you sexually harassing him like that Razor Ramon angle, Orc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't appreciate all those chocolates and those love notes you were sending him, man.
Yeah.
Not cool.
That's how I do it, you know.
The Gold Dust, the original Me Too.
I'm a
Who
good
sent
old
me a-
Texan boy.
Who sent me a Mountain Dew bouquet?
All
Hey,
empty.
You got that 1-800 Gold Dust Flowers? Remember?
Do you guys remember that whole storyline? Because that was like early added,
I
pre-attitude
remember it,
era.
yeah. I remember
But
it.
that was just fun. That was hilarious, and you could tell that he was so uncomfortable with it too.
With all the gay shit that Goldust would always do, I would always just be stunned at how like amazing Marlena looked, and I'd just be like, "Oh my god, if I could get like a hold of her." I'm like sitting there, I'm like 9 years old. I'm just like, "Oh wow, she's amazing."
Just sitting at the screen doing this.
Which we would come to find out from someone on this show we're reviewing today. She's apparently 99% fake.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you ever hear since we're talking ECW tonight, the New Jack story where he went on a rampage and started trying to sell nudes of her after they broke up?
No.
Oh, just Google New Jack Terry Runnels. It
Well,
is.
Also, if you haven't seen the shoot interview where he talks pretty much only about her, check that out too if you can find it.
Yeah, he said like she used to ask him to gig her with a razor while she was giving him a blowjob.
Oh my god.
So
Nice.
I don't know if that's true, but New Jack might stretch the truth. But
New Jack's the man. R.I.P. I love New Jack.
that you will never see another New Jack.
No.
It's just it can't happen today. So
I really wish he could have kept it together enough to like have a small WWE run in the beginning there.
Well, you heard
The one guy with a more fucked up forehead than me.
Abdullah the Butcher has you both beat. Like that dude could insert an entire coin in his head. Like legit, he would do it to freak out kids.
Where's your quarter? Oh, it's gone. It's mine now.
I got next.
Kind
Oh,
of weird magician.
Man, I miss New Jack. People forget about his TNA run with Shark Boy, where he was mostly doing comedy, but it was
Shark
actually
Boy.
really good.
And dude, his stuff in Smoky Mountain was like top notch heel, especially
I love
for their area.
Oh my god!
I love that OJ promo he cut.
Yeah.
Shout out to OJ. He got one of them or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Them promos were like, you go back and watch them in Smoky Mountain, they were gold. I mean,
I remember Jim Cornette talking about that. He's like, at a certain point, the heat reaches a level that it's like you might get killed.
Yeah.
So it did become an issue after a while. But goddamn, New Jack, he made you forget that it was a work.
Right.
yeah.
Like he might actually kill me.
I thought before we get on the show, we could kind of go around and kind of talk about our first introduction to ECW, since this is a ECW show. I probably didn't watch any of this while it was going on because, especially where I'm at, it was hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
And we never had satellite, so I couldn't get pay-per-view. But I remember one Christmas, my brother, Timmy, he got me, it was like a best of ECW VHS tape, like their most violent matches or whatever, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first introduction. And then after watching that, and I still couldn't, at the time, I think ECW is still going on because I was pretty young, but I couldn't watch anything. But I remember Toys R Us had the action figures, the ECW action figures. They all came a box like this.
Yeah.
And one Christmas, I got like a whole line of like the Dudleys and Lance Storm and Just Incredible, all them guys, Tommy Dreamer. And then once WWE bought them, obviously, and they start putting the stuff out, is more accessible. So I went back and watched quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was me.
I probably first heard about it. I always picked up like the PWI magazines back in the day. Even stuff that I couldn't watch, I knew about what was going on in like the wrestling world. So I found about it like very early on, like it had just become like ECW from what it was before. And eventually I got into like tape trading with different people. So that's also how I got a hold of certain things. And I mean, just blew my mind at that time. You know, this was the raw adult alternative pre-attitude era. It was dangerous. It was, you know, it was something special. And eventually XPW came along and took it a step further. But yeah, ECW was huge for me.
I guess
How
my
about you, Corey?
introduction. Yeah, I guess my introduction was probably when they invaded Raw that first time, because I didn't have a channel near me where they were broadcasting their show. So I think off of that, me and a friend, we caught one of the pay-per-views and kind of kept up with it from there. And then I remember going to a house show, and I had to look it up. It was in April of 2000, and I was trying to remember this match because I remember being in the crowd terrified because it was one of those fights where it just broke out into the crowd. And I looked it up. I found the card online. It was Jack Victory, Steve Corino, and Tajiri versus Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, and New Jack. And they were just all over the crowd. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die in this show.
I'm gonna die.
But it was a fun experience to be able to see like a live ECW show before they shut down. So, yeah, that was kind of
yeah.
I think like I said, I think the Raw where they were invading was my introduction, though. So
you haven't been to a wrestling show until you think for a second maybe you might die. That's always been my attitude.
I haven't been to one of them
Oh
yet.
God, New Jack's coming this way.
Come on down to UEW. Like I literally was just in the crowd and I got cut. So needs to be some real danger.
Yeah, one of my oldest friends, well, really my brother's friends, but we're friends. In the early days of ECW, he got to go to a house show, and somebody had thrown a beer at Tracy Smothers, and somehow he got blamed, and they threw him out.
Oh, that sucks, especially if you didn't do the crime.
Yeah.
Tracy was such a good. I wasn't friends with him, but I knew him a little bit because I just saw him all the time and went to a training seminar that he was a part of. One of the most underrated ever.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he was with a girl from Evansville here. I know he died here at the hospital in Evansville. So
yeah.
I got to see him. It was probably like 4 or 5 years before he passed. He did a show up here in Owensboro. He was a part of it, but like Hacksaw, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Jeff Jarrett. But he was still going up until his final days.
Yeah. He was always fun. They did this on a lot of indie shows, but he'd always do like the dance off with Blue Meanie and just a really entertaining guy. I think if he had come along just a little bit earlier, he would have had like a big run in the territories. But yeah, Freddie Joe Floyd was a pretty big disappointment.
Yeah.
In WWE.
Yeah. Or what about your ECW?
What up, homie? So my ECW memories. Let me see. What can I remember? This is gonna be out of order because that's how I roll. Because I'm retarded. Oh, just dropped the R word. Sorry. I love you, YouTube. So the first pay-per-view I think I got was the Christmas pay-per-view they had, or November to Remember in the year 2000. A Massacre on whatever it was, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
34th Street. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I probably got November to Remember and that just as like gifts for like my birthday and Christmas. So that was right at the tail end of before McMahon bought them. But before that, it was kind of like my first WWF pay-per-view was like WrestleMania 13. So I got into wrestling like in the middle of 96, but I've like basically started figuring out about everything with like wrestling almanacs and shit like that. So I knew who lost belts and like every promotion, who lost belts, who won the belts, like all the belts that were around, more than like my schoolwork. I could give a fuck less about that. For ECW, WCW, WWF at the time. So and then buying all the magazines and shit like that. And I think probably first thing I used to watch it on Friday or Saturday nights. It used to come on when I lived in New York. It was on like late at night. I think it was on at like 11, 12, or 1 a.m. And it would play for an hour or two. And I would just watch it. But you could never see any of the extreme shit that was on the pay-per-views. So like as awesome as Attitude Era was in WWF, like I could never watch all the really extreme adult stuff. So but I still remember probably my best memory was seeing the TV Guide logo and then seeing it scroll up as being like Extreme Championship Wrestling ECW. It's like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and I just miss those days, like Monster Vision, ECW, Attitude Era, all that shit.
Yeah.
So that wasn't really in order, and that was kind of a fucked up,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but you get what I'm trying to say.
And ECW is definitely the underground at that time period. Which is weird considering they were kind of doing talent trades with WWE at the time.
I noticed in the show, real quick, since you mentioned that, is how much shit they talk about basically WWF during the commentary, yet they're working with them.
Yep.
I think, real quick, I think out of all the commentators, I think Joey Styles was my favorite. Like out of any organization, he's just so funny, man.
Yeah, I love. Well, number one, I love how all this kicks off with the shitty library music. If you watched it on the network, which is just hilarious, just this stock music. Unless it's Natural Born Killers, it's not the same with New Jack, but. I'm surprised, quite honestly, because I don't get to go back and watch old pay-per-views or old wrestling that often anymore, just because there's so much new wrestling every week. So this is the first time I've watched this pay-per-view on the network, and they kept the "Show Your Tits" chant at Francine, which I wasn't too sure if they would. There's a few comments directed towards Nicole Bass that I figured they might have to get rid of, but
they also didn't cut out any language either, which was impressive.
They censored "fuck" one time.
Motherfucker, they censored, yeah. They censored that, but then they let the F word.
They left
fly.
a bunch of shit in, and which made it more funny. Dude, we'll get there. But like the whole pay-per-view this is such a good choice. That by the end match when just all the shit is going on, I was just laughing hysterically. Like I couldn't control.
It's a good mix of like everything for ECW. Because look, by this period, especially, you had some really amazing technical matches. You had the old school ECW brawls. This one just had a little bit of everything. We get a wardrobe malfunction from the murderer, allegedly. There was a lot going on with this pay-per-view, and I do admire one of the most underrated feuds and series of matches, Just Incredible and Jerry Lynn, to kick it off. Those two tore the house down. And I remember I ordered this pay-per-view, and I remember the finish with Just Incredible doing a tombstone off the turnbuckles, which was just amazing. Like, that was insane. You just didn't really see it at that time.
Out of our wrestling tournament, the two wrestlers that I wanted to get in that didn't, because I was a huge fan of ECW at the time, were Sabu and Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, a lot of people, I forget about Jerry Lynn until I watched this show here.
He was just, except for ECW, and TNA, and eventually late in his career, Ring of Honor, he just was never truly appreciated, like, on the grand stage. I mean, WWE got him and didn't do anything with them. The WCW run, he got in trouble for having too good of a match with Ric Flair, at one point. So yeah, he was just always one of those guys that never, even to this day, I don't think truly got his due. And it's sad, but man, go back on the network and watch some of the Just Incredible stuff, because those two were fantastic. Credible's another one. Like, other than ECW, he never,
I don't know how much I don't know how much of it was, he had a lot to do with that. He has some substance abuse issues that he just couldn't get over there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Saying you weren't a fan of that Aldo Montoya run?
That I saw Aldo Montoya get an upset win over Jerry Lawler at his show. So I was at that one.
Credible's a guy that I strongly believe, had he been able to stay clean when the invasion angle happened, he would have been a big part of it with Lance Storm. I think they would have came back and done something.
Yeah, he could have had a hell of a singles run too. He was an awesome heel. And again, a very underrated wrestler. And by the time he came back to WWE's version of ECW, and he's even talked about it, he's like, he literally would make more just working a day job at Target than he would what they were paying the ECW guys at that point, or at least most of them.
No shit. Well, I never knew that.
Yeah, I mean, not Rob Van Dam and some of those guys, obviously, but yeah, that was part of that's why he showed up, and he wasn't really a part of it after that, which is a shame.
Is that why Shane Douglas went to Target?
Yeah.
I wanted to say one thing, and it came up during this match. Of course, the fans and the ECW chant, the fans were such a big part of that company back then.
Mm-hmm.
As a lot of people say AEW fans are, but I didn't see one grown man crying during this show, which bugs the shit out of me. Like you see at AEW.
That is true.
I agree. Too much crying nowadays.
If there was a fan at the ECW show crying, they would have sent back out there to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, or you'd get a "you're a pussy" chant or something. It always amazes me now. Some of the most politically incorrect fans, believe it or not, you will find in California. Like UEW, there are some chants that would break the internet in AEW if it happened. But yeah, we should talk about Just Incredible's entourage at the time: Nicole Bass, Jason, and Chastity. The two
Jason
ladies
dude
there
always crack me up.
Yeah. Kind of like the Great Value Buff Bagwell.
The Great Value Buff Bagwell.
Which is pretty bad, honestly. 'Cause I think Buff Bagwell might be the Great Value Buff Bagwell now, but
Oh my God.
This guy's the Clover Valley, man.
yeah.
The Kirkland Buff Bagwell.
If you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get started on this show.
Oh, yeah.
I know we kind of been
It's
talking
gonna
about
be
it, but
too much fun. Holy shit.
Sorry, I already segued into it.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, because that'll be the first thing we get into after I talk about the intro here. But to start to kick the show off, Joey Styles in some shitty bingo hall there in Dayton, Ohio, and then out comes Shane Douglas, which is the champion at the time, and he cuts a little promo and find out Shane Douglas will be on commentary. And then we kick off the first match is Justin Incredible with Jason, Nicole Bass, and Chastity against Jerry Lynn. And they go 14 minutes and 36 seconds, which is the second longest match on this whole card to start things off. And kind of go through this match a little bit. I thought this was a really solid match to kick off this show. And like we've already talked about, both of these guys, I don't think get enough credit for what they can do in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they pack a lot into the 14 minutes too, because I mean ECW had long matches, but not everything. You know, you'll watch some AEW shows, and there's some matches that go a lot longer than they need to. So going back. I mean, shit, I could watch these two wrestle certainly for an hour, but they were just amazing. And Chastity, not the most spectacular of runs, but she did go to WCW briefly, and she's the one that got fired because they found out she did a porn. So her run there with Raven and Sandman or Hack wasn't meant to be, but for long anyways. But yeah, I remember watching at this time and looking at Nicole Bass and thinking, God damn, if she can learn to wrestle, that's a mega feud with China.
Oh
Yeah, she was scary. I forgot to mention how scary she was. Also forgot to mention how much growing up, like after I was introduced to this, how much I wanted the Got Blood shirt. They just incredible sports in this. That shirt, I don't know. That during the Got Milk days, you know, that's when the milk and the Got Blood. I thought that, I don't know. I always liked that shirt a lot.
He had a shirt too. I'm pretty sure it was him that I always wanted, and it was just said, "I hate this town." I always wanted that shirt. I remember this was a great match, and one thing I loved about it was just their transitions with each other and going from move to move, and it was just pretty solid all around. It felt like there was no real downtime in it. They were just nonstop the whole match. I was a little preoccupied because I forgot how damn good Francine's body was before this match. I was like, holy shit.
Still is. Look at her on Twitter.
So, but yeah, it was a great start to the show for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, great opener.
Ort, you got any opinions on this match? Oh, Ort stepping away to take a bite of his McGriddle.
One thing I did want to mention, Dan, was you talked about that tombstone from the top rope. He just sets it up so quick and just goes with it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, you
like out of nowhere.
Yeah, you see some pretty crazy, pile drivers now, but you don't see a ton of people doing a tombstone off of the ropes like that. No. That was at the time. That was like, holy shit! And this is years before I trained, so I'm looking at that thinking like, how the hell?
Definitely wouldn't see it today, I don't think.
It
depends. Maybe in AEW, but you're not going to see it.
No,
Probably not.
definitely not off of the ropes like that. Yeah, just everything about this match. It was just a fantastic opener. You do have the like ridiculously stupid referee who is blind to like all the interference. He's got to like turn around for what seems like half an hour.
Yeah, but they bring a chair in the ring and he's just like watching, which I'm not privy to their rules, but it was like anything goes in all their matches or what?
It's a bit of a
dealer's choice
logic flaw because
okay.
Yeah, it really shouldn't matter, but you know that you kind of have to roll with that because I always thought, even as a kid, it's like, well, if there's no rules, why don't all the heels just jump in right at the beginning and just kick the shit out of them and end it in like a couple minutes?
Yeah, because that was one thing like ECW was big on, like the entourages, man, kind of like AEW. Everybody was rolling with somebody.
Yeah,
coming into the ring with like 4 deep.
One thing that ECW did well is wherever you were on the card, you were doing something. There was nobody that was really ever wasted in ECW. You could be somebody like Bilvis Wesley, who, certainly not a big star, but he was doing something. And the booking was always really strong. ECW failed on the business end of it, but man, they didn't fail in terms of booking. Booking was always great.
Yes. Or do you have any thoughts on this match?
Oh, we're still on the Just Incredible match?
Yes, sir.
Let me look at a list of all the matches.
While you're doing that, I'll go through Corey's. I don't think so, Corey.
No, they were a short-lived tag team, though.
Yeah.
So on this card, all of the matches were good. So it was a good pick for us to do our first show on. I don't really want to rank them. My thoughts on the match, though, it had a really good pace. I would like to see Jerry Lynn win, but like other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And then Ben mentions FBI being on Impact this week. I didn't see it. I don't watch much Impact, but they were the dark match for this card, I believe, with Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten for the dark match for that. And then Francine has a podcast on YouTube. It's called
she does.
Eyes Up Here. Not know that. But moving on, I guess, the second match on the card, we got two other underrated guys. One of them, I absolutely love this guy, but Chris Candido. I think he's an underrated guy. He should have done more. And he's got Tammy with him. And then he's going up against Lance Storm, which is one of my favorite technical wrestler guys that I think just can do any and everything in the ring. He's just amazing. His run in WCW was great and everything. So, but this match, obviously, with these two, I thought it was an excellent match. Probably it would be my first favorite from like a technical standpoint, but probably my third favorite on this card. Just two great guys going at it. So, yeah.
Yeah, Candido always delivered, but he was especially good here. He looked especially good here. I mean, it's just such a tragedy because his death was just such a freak thing with that blood clot thing he had in TNA. And Tammy probably really went off the deep end once. I don't think she had him to hold her back anymore from her craziness. There were some spots in this that Lance Storm suplex out of the ring onto the concrete was ugly. The blonde bombshell power bomb off the top rope. If you look at the way Lance hits, that is just brutal. Just his head. Yeah, this is this pay-per-view was just amazing because you get like just two fantastic back-to-back, just action-packed technical classics. Just watching this, the same thing. Lance Storm as well. Like, he did a lot. He had a really good career, but you just feel like it should have gone just a little bit further.
Yeah, he never had that big or that decent WWE run that I felt like he should have. Because I know a lot of guys technical wrestle, they bring up William Regal, but dude, Lance Storm's my dude. I don't think there's anybody better than him.
I'm sorry, but Lance Storm shits on William Regal.
Oh yeah, but William Regal's the one everybody remembers. I feel like from that aspect because they're two kind of vanilla guys, really.
Regal's got him on character though.
I don't know, dude. If I could be serious for a moment, that shit WCW, I ate that shit up as a kid. Like, I loved going up against the Misfits in action. I'm like, fuck them guys, Canada all the way.
I remember Elix Skipper and like making him like the Canadian.
I love they turned Duggan heel too and turned him Canadian.
When you look at all those Alberta connection guys, or like, any of those guys from that area, like anybody associated with the Hart family, Jericho, Storm, like they're all fucking insane how good they are at wrestling.
Same way, yeah.
Yeah, I would say to this day too, a different kind of wrestler, but Josh Alexander, watch his stuff in Impact. Guy's amazing. There's still a lot of excellent Canadian wrestlers at Rosemary as well in Impact. But everything and again, I know she did recently do something quite horrible. But Tammy knew how to get heat.
Mm-hmm.
She never lost that.
Still doing it to this day.
Still doing it to this day. Definitely.
And well, I forgot to mention real quick, this match only went 11 minutes, which I thought was strange with these two guys. It could have went a lot longer.
Look what they packed into it, though, too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was going to say that about that. First off, Candido was jacked. Looked great, like you guys said. And a great match. And then they had the kind of screwy finish when Tammy got involved in the whole referee deal they had. I'm assuming this was probably kind of led to another match down the road between them to kind of continue the feud. So that's probably why the weird finish. But yeah.
Pork, you got any thoughts on this match?
This is I don't know. Like I said, all 6 matches on the main card are good on this pay-per-view. Yeah. I'd say this is probably maybe 6, and then Just Incredible would probably be my 5th favorite. But yeah, I rank them 6-5. When you guys get to me, it's kind of hard to not say something that's already been said. Yeah. But I got something to say about the next match because it's my favorite.
Well, we'll get on to the third match on the card. Masito Tanaka versus Mike Awesome. They go 11 minutes, 49 seconds. I love Mike Awesome in WCW. What was that gimmick he had? Like the fat chicks?
The fat chick Slayer.
That 70s guy too.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I mean, I've already said it. We've already said it for the past 2 matches, but Mike Awesome is another guy that he had a decent run, I guess, in WCW, but he's another guy that I feel like could have done way more. I don't know. I just love these guys and feel like they should have got more praise than they did. But I guess at the time, WWE was overrun with talent. And these guys really couldn't have got their chance. But
they paid WCW paid him like I think it was like a $200,000 signing bonus, and then they make him like the fat guy Slayer or whatever they called him.
Did he not do some stuff with like Vampiro and like that whole ICW stuff, ICP stuff?
Yeah, he did that, and I mean, you know, he worked with Crowbar, and I mean, it was WCW at that time. There was a lot of lot of shit, but you know, he made the best of it. But Orc, since it's your favorite, I do want to add this match. What'd you think?
So this is my favorite match of the pay-per-view. The reasons why: it has the best spot in the whole entire fucking pay-per-view when the Japanese guy power bombs Mike Awesome over the ropes, and he basically falls like almost on his head, but on his like shoulders. This match is what I loved Attitude Era and ECW so much. Like it solidifies everything that was great about ECW. Like when they're hitting each other with the chairs, and they're just like bashing each other, and then just like I forgot who gives out first, but it's yeah, that was a good spot. And then when they're going into the crowd and like throwing each other into the guardrails, it was the whole thing was awesome. Yeah, easily my favorite match on the card. Mike Awesome, like. They were both. I guess they had a rivalry before this in Japan, which I kind of remember seeing in magazines. And I think Pro Wrestling Illustrated was the one that I was trying to name before when I never make sense. But Mike Awesome, his agility was insane, and then he also had the strength to go with it too.
Yeah. I mean. There were moments in this match where it's just like, shit, how are they not dead? Like you said, and it's a concrete floor too. Masato Tanaka's not a big dude, and he just like lops them like right on his neck.
When you just see him look at Mike Awesome, he's just looking over. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And he's just like,
how about you, Corey?
Yeah, it was, fun, hard-hitting match. I just was never a big Mike Awesome guy, and maybe it was because of that WCW run. It was kind of in a shitty time at WCW when he got in there, but yeah, they both worked hard in the match and did a good job. There was no shit matches on this card by any means, so.
No, these two you go back and watch any Mike Awesome Masato Tanaka match, including One Night Stand after the WWE purchase, they just like straight up murder each other.
Yeah, there's some big bumps in that match that I remember.
Yeah, that reverse power bomb off the top rope through a table. And yeah, I was surprised because I was like, oh, this one's gonna disappoint. They're not gonna let them do a lot of the same stuff. And sure enough, damn, they were still able to do it.
Well, moving on to the fourth match on the card, and honestly, probably my least favorite match on this card, the tag team match for the ECW World Tag Team titles, and they go 20 minutes and 51 seconds. So
it hurts me to say, but because I'm a huge RVD and Sabu fan, but like this is probably, I agree with you, maybe the worst match on the card.
Longest match at 20 minutes and 51 seconds, but you got Rod Van Dam and Sabu, which were the ECW champions, with the fucking Bill Alfonso and his annoying ass whistle.
Dude, the best part.
That's one thing that kills me about their matches is this fucking whistle.
Whistle, yes. But
my favorite part of the match, and this is all I want to say, and then you guys can cover it way more than I can because you can actually form sentences. But like, I loved the part of this match when the table wasn't quite cooperating with them and the leg was like getting all fucked up and like they didn't know what to do. It was just hilarious to watch.
But RVD and Sabu, and they're against Sabusa and Shinsei Shinzaki. Is that?
Hakushi and WWF back in the day.
Okay, but I would imagine this Shizaki guy putting all them damn stupid ass tattoos on himself. I don't know. Like, I like Hayabusa and I like Sabu and RVD, of course. This is my least favorite match on the card. I don't think it lived up to what, especially RVD, Sabu, and these guys can do. And like Orc said, the table spot, and I don't know if it was the tag team element or what, but this match just didn't do it for me, and it went way too long for me.
I actually like this one a lot, but it is one of those pay-per-views where like everything kind of slays. So
yeah, everything up to this point was like, spectacular, and then you get this.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
But man, still Sabu and Hayabusa in the ring together. I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, again, not my favorite Sabu RVD tag match in ECW. That's a really high bar. But I enjoyed it. Also, not a ton of storyline going into it either. It was kind of just a, kind of an attraction match. But yeah, when people talk great tag teams, RVD and Sabu, you can't forget about them. I mean, they had historical singles runs, but
that's my number one. Yeah. Fuck everybody else, man.
As a tag team?
Yep, tag team, easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to ask, because I'm not too familiar with their roster at the time or what they had going on. Were these matches with the Japanese wrestlers like were they working with another company, or what was going on with that?
FMW, yeah, Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling. They always had a relationship. That's where like the rivalry with Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka and pretty, any like when Japanese companies worked with WWE, usually it was always kind of underwhelming. WCW did it well for a time, but ECW really, kind of respected it. I mean, Masato Tanaka had the belt. Mike Awesome, of course, had his run.
He was a TV champion, right? For ECW he held the TV title, didn't he?
Who?
Mike Awesome. Mike Awesome.
Oh, Mike Awesome was the ECW champion.
Yeah, that's what I thought at one time.
Yeah, he held the belt. He took it off of Taz in that infamous triple threat where they all knew Taz was leaving for WWF, three-way dance, I should say, because in ECW you had to pin both guys, and Taz went out first, so that was kind of a big thing.
Also, a unique one too, if you remember. Taz won it back from him when they were both working for other companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting.
But hey, at the time, people didn't realize Paul Heyman was working with WWE. He was getting a paycheck. That's a long story, but that was a lot of people held a pretty big grudge with Heyman over that later. But yeah, no, I thought this match was really good.
Corey, you got anything to add?
Not really. I mean, it was fine. I will say one thing that of course hindsight's 2020, but they had a little promo beforehand with RVD and Sabu, and just watching this show, like two people really stood out to me that if you watch them and know what their career became, you could see it watching this was RVD and Bubba Dudley. I thought you could really tell that they were like head and shoulders above a lot of the guys in terms of promo and just the way they presented themselves. So,
yeah. And I forgot to add, which next show I'll do a better job because I forgot to write stuff down for this show. But in between one of these matches, you get a little promo with New Jack, and I can't remember the guy.
New Jack, Axel, Ball.
Yeah, and then randomly the Dudleys pull up in this old Cadillac and just start beating the shit out of New Jack, which will set up stuff for later on in the show.
There is something funny about Fat Bubba just running out of the car and just like fucking annihilating.
Because I was confused because I didn't like go in like read what was for it. I'm just like watching. They cut this. New Jack's arguing with this guy outside, and see this car roll up, and fucking the Dudleys roll out of it and start beating the shit out of him. Like, what the fuck are they tagging New Jack for? And then it pays off.
I just love RVD and Sabu as a tag team, though. Like, yeah, the whistle's fucking annoying, but like RVD just being like, "Hey, I'm the fucking man," and then like Sabu's like gonna jump into the crowd, and he's all like this, and they're just like fighting over time in the ring. It's just hilarious, man. I love it. It's so funny.
But moving on, I guess, to the fifth match, and this was my favorite match on the card. Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow Falls Count Anywhere match for the FTW Heavyweight Championship. I mean, there's nothing I can say about Bam Bam that probably hasn't already said. For a guy his size, to be able to do some of the stuff he does. But going back and watching this, man, I love this version of Taz. I just wish he could have done so much more in WWE. But this match had it all, man. And I just love the spot with the DDT through the entrance ramp. But it was a great match. They were fighting everywhere. But peak Taz for me, for sure.
Taz was a fucking badass this time, man. Oh, yeah. And Bam Bam's one of my all-time favorite big men. He was just amazing. And maybe not at his physical peak at this particular time, but remember the Jersey Triad run with DDP and Canyon. I love that as well. Something good that WCW did around that time. But yeah, Oric, what did you think of Taz and Bam Bam? Because this was kind of cool because they had gone through the ring before and they've still found a way to top it with this one.
Well, like one of the reasons I like Brock Lesnar so much is because of all the suplexes he does. But I think before that, it was all Taz for the most part. No one could even touch him. And when he puts him through the table, that was amazing. Of course, like the ramp is one of the best spots. And then them just going through the crowd is awesome. But, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so, and lines like that are all amazing. But Survive If I Let You is might be my favorite, but it's up there for sure. Yeah, these are two bigger guys that could definitely go, and it was always fun to watch them wrestle. And just if you never got the pay-per-view, the thing that they would always play on reruns of ECW or when it was live or on the preview channel to get the pay-per-view was Living Dangerously when they fell through the ring or when they fell through the ramp at Heatwave. You're like, oh man, we got to get this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great spot.
My favorite part of this match is at some point they're out in the crowd fighting like they did most of this match. And then Taz gets thrown into a row of seats, and the whole row of seats just folds up and hits the ground. Everybody's got to stand now. Shit. But my favorite part is at the end, Taz is talking shit.
Sorry.
Taz is talking shit to Shane Douglas up there in the booth, and Shane just picks up this 13-inch TV and throws it off out of the
I was gonna say Shane Douglas's meltdown was probably better than the whole match. Just his reaction. They're up there in the thing, like you were saying.
Shane Douglas looking like Triple H.
I love Shane Douglas.
Yeah, that's he's another one that man is
That
last.
was his own doing though with his mouth, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, there were certain times. I mean, I know he was kind of just trying to work with some of the Ric Flair stuff, but yeah, I mean, he was just one of those guys. He was booked perfectly in ECW, and
yeah,
my God, did they give him some shit in WCW at the end? But yeah, as far as like heel work goes, just awesome.
Hobbs were in
nice.
here. He was at the event. He still got the ticket stub. So I imagine
Hope
you.
your chair wasn't one that got folded up.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember this event pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted you mentioned Ric Flair. It reminded me that like we still getting the woos on the chops every time they were doing it on the show too. I'm like, God,
Yeah, I don't think that's. I think that and what is something that's like never gonna go away ever.
yes.
It's gonna be around for a very long time.
Once in a while, you don't get it with Walter or Gunther now, because like he just like fucking like murders you with it. So I don't know, it doesn't quite get the Flair woo all the time.
I can't stand that guy, by the way, but
I love
that's a different time.
different,
Yeah.
different fight.
But we are at the main event. Only 6 matches on this card, which is kind of unusual, I guess. But main event, you got a street fight. Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, and Spike Dudley against the Dudleys, which was Bubba Ray, Devon, Big Dick Dudley, and they had their little entourage with them, Sign Guy and
Joel Gertner.
Yep. And there was another one with them. I can't remember his name. But
when I'm not with your mom,
Dan's dog is pissed.
He is. Always at the end of the show.
This was just a fun match, and the end of this match really makes it for me when New Jack comes out there and throws this fucking cart with all his shit in there and just starts beating the shit out of everybody. And I'm a New Jack mark, so yeah.
My favorite part of the match is just like I was laughing for like most of this match, like almost like crying because it was so funny the shit that happens in this match. But like Spike Dudley does a signature move where he does like kind of like an RKO off the top turnbuckle, and he's about to do it to Bubba Ray Dudley, and he just takes him and he throws him outside the ring, and you just hear the table just go. It's just like, and he's lying there, and it looks like he's dead. I was just laughing so hard.
Spike took some insane bumps. So, did you ever see the one where La Resistance fucked it up? They did that double choke slam out of the ring, and his head, like literally, like his head, just cracked the side of the table, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's paralyzed."
Spike in ECW and in WWF was like a savage. Yeah.
I'm kind of glad he sort of walked away after a while because I was like, he was gonna get to the point where he couldn't walk anymore with the bumps he was taking. Oh man.
I also liked when they called like when Sandman did the Frankensteiner. And then they called the Frankensander. Like laughing my ass off.
Man, I love Sandman. But his entrance just don't hit with this generic music they play over everybody's stuff. There's so much. He's got, I mean, out of everybody in professional wrestling, he's got to have the best entrance ever. Walking in the crowd, drinking beer and bleeding before the match. Like,
with a cigarette.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette. I wish my head was that hard. I could just slam fucking beer cans on my head.
I love the feud with Raven, man. With him like Raven essentially brainwashing his kid, and like Raven's my daddy now. It was just
they crucified him, didn't they? And that didn't go over so well.
Yeah, that was the crucifixion angle. It's funny because Stevie Richards and Blue Meanie were both Catholic, and like while they're doing it, I think Blue Meanie told this story. Like Stevie Richards leans over, he's like, "This is kind of fucked up." Like, they were doing it, but oh man, yeah, no. So not the same, obviously, not a knockoff by any means, but without Sandman, you might not have had Stone Cold. I mean, certainly some similarities there.
Oh, yeah. Hobbs said the fans went nuts. Literally the biggest pop of the night. It was insane in person. The Paul Heyman and the wrestler stayed after the show, came out to the ring and greeted the fans.
No, that's awesome.
It's all, ECW is always like a fan-friendly show, I guess, with the fans and interacting with the fans and stuff.
I love in this match where, and they had done it before. I remember them doing it before, but the referee gets involved, so the referee's helping them tie up the guys, and he even does like the baseball sliding to a chair. He's like, he's pissed off because they called him bald.
This was just like textbook, like just the wild, out of control ECW brawl. You know, I mean, there didn't always have to necessarily be like one thing that was just insane or a crazy bump. They knew how to tear the house down. And I will say, I think they cut a few obscenities, if I remember, from Joel Gertner's promo, because I think he made a few rougher comments about Beulah that I didn't notice on the network stream. But although you did get him introducing himself as the man that makes your panties moist, they kept that in. So
Did they cut the promo that Bubba cuts, and he's like telling that girl that there's a daughter and
your mama
there,
did your mama teach you to suck dick? Yeah.
Is that on the network? They cut that, I'm sure.
I don't think that was at this pay-per-view though.
It wasn't at this pay-per-view, but I don't think it was a pay-per-view at all, was it? Was it just a
There were some like really like Bubba, even on like some indie stuff. I mean, everybody had to go like super woke now because they're all afraid of being canceled, but he was known to say some pretty fucked up shit. Again, as a heel, I'm not like, I mean, I think it's awesome, and I don't think you should have ever.
I mean, that's
stopped.
your job to get heat, so say whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you get like a "shut up, you stupid bitch," or like, I mean, he didn't even care. He just went for it. But yeah, and then some of the healing that he did after they gave the 3D to Beulah, because that move, well, really, it always kind of was. A few times in WWE, they let somebody kick out of it, but that was a very protected finish. Like, usually it was one and done. And I remember in ECW, they really booked it as like the thing that you're not going to be able to get up from.
Yeah. And Hobbs over here, fans waited to fight the Dudleys after the cops were called. I feel like ECW at this time is one of the last, I guess you want to call it territories, whatever you want to call it, promotions, like that could generate that kind of heat where the fans wanted to jump in the ring and fight, the performers, much like in the AWA, NWA days when that shit was real to everybody.
Yeah, it like UEW tries to keep that alive. I'll have to show you some hate breed stuff because he's nearly inspired people to beat the shit out of him too. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Things are so safe now.
Yeah.
When you have wrestlers complaining about fan chants or Thunder fucking Rosa stopping a match, to chew out the fans for, yelling something at him or at Athena, it's ridiculous. They're babies now.
I'm pretty sure too. I'm just assuming the Dudleys, if you saw them out in public back then, they were probably dicks to you in public too. So there's no more like only the character on TV,
Yeah, I think, and like I guess now the only guy that comes to my mind from just seeing stuff how he interacts with fans at like signings and meet and greets is like MJF. I feel like as young as he is, he's one of the last guys that gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. I just think that's a lost art for him that it's came and gone. You're not going to see that.
I think
anymore.
it's a company issue too, because I'm pretty sure this was it in this. I was watching the Broken Skull show with Bubba Ray Dudley, and he talked about saying he wasn't going to sign autographs, and WWE basically said you have to. So he's like, I couldn't turn down that money. So yeah, I signed autographs. So
yeah.
I mean, like right now, and this isn't some genius idea, but like with what's going on with Russia, WWE could bring in Ilya Dragunov from NXT UK, and he would be an insane heel right now. But all this sensitivity, it's just like they can't go for it anymore. You know, people are afraid of real heat.
man, the last person I felt like had real heat WWE wise, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm missing someone, and they had to shut it down was the Muhammad Hassan back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I love that character, and then I think they did something, and then there were the London bombings, and they just cut the character all together. So
they had like the masked guys come out and take that. That was like the beginning of the end. I mean, he was green as shit, but yeah, as a character at that time, like, yeah, I mean, that's the type of thing, like, you'll buy a ticket to see him get fucked up.
Yeah. He was working with top guys, at least promo wise.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Undertaker. Yeah. I mean, he was only around, I think it was, basically a year.
Yeah.
Like, that entire run was about a year, give or take a month.
It was a really well written character.
Yeah. And he's Italian, too, which I was like, not even Arab.
Corey says 3D move was cool, but it was no doomsday device.
Yeah, definitely people didn't kick out of that either.
Nope. And then Ben Usos using 3D as a finish, and they're terrible at it. Yep. Usos suck. I don't like them.
I don't think they suck, but I don't like them doing that finish.
I don't like them in general.
They don't really. Yeah, well, tag teams in WWE,
that is true. They don't give nobody. I don't know.
It's just matches. The tag matches. I mean, hey, New Day, which I consider more of an act than a tag team because there's 3 of them. But yeah, New Day and Usos, like.
But Usos, they're never not going to be a tag team. Like, you can't put them guys as singles.
Yeah.
Well, you got the option of Solo.
I can't tell them apart, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. That's why.
I don't know who Jimmy or Jay is, so.
I don't know.
They'd have to do something crazy if they split them up. Like, one of them would, like, hey, we need you to, like, shave your head. And
Scott Steiner look.
Yeah.
I'd be down for it then.
Do like a Kerwin White sort of thing that's like totally different from your character, so we can distinguish between you. But this Bully Ray doesn't get credit for a big guy. That dude can sell. Like, I always really admired him. Like, you look at the way he just would take a bump, a simple bump sometimes. I mean, he would just sell like crazy. And his Bully Ray title run in TNA was amazing. One of the best heels, if not the best at that time in wrestling.
Yes.
There was some ladder spot that they got someone got Devon with in this match, and the sell job he did was just hilarious. He was like bouncing around the ring, and it was hilarious.
Speaking of ladders, I was gonna bring this up. Spike off the top of the biggest ladder when he's literally standing all the way at the top and he jumps off onto everybody. That was pretty insane.
Yeah. I remember when Bigelow, I mean, they replayed the shit out of that too, just like chucked him into the crowd.
But overall, I guess we'll do from 1 to 5 stars. How do we rank this pay-per-view? I guess I'll start. I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars pay-per-view. Even my least favorite match was still a decent match. And then everything, on this card was excellent. I don't think I could have wanted anything more. So
I'll go the 5 because I think this just had a great mix of everything, and it holds up. Honestly,
Yes.
it holds up.
I'll go with a 4 on this one.
When you're proud of wrestling and you're proud to be a wrestling fan and say you are, I think the sissy bitch shit that's done today is fucking pathetic compared to what everything this pay-per-view has to offer. And this is why I became basically a huge wrestling fan. Like was events like this and seeing, ECW late at night and then seeing Hell in a Cell and Mankind get thrown off the fucking cage and all that shit. Buried Alive matches, anything ECW did, and any kind of variation of like a match that wasn't the norm. Strap match, fucking boiler room brawl, buried alive match, get thrown off a Titantron match, that's why around this time was the best in wrestling, and I don't think it'll ever be topped because there's too many safety precautions.
Yeah. So you give it a 5, I'm assuming, from that?
I was gonna go 4.5 like you because nothing's perfect, but I'll give it a 5. It's too good.
Solid pay-per-view. Well, Dan, I'm just waiting on your pay-per-view choice here, and we can. Next show.
So I did my own random. Well, do you want me to just put it in the chat?
Yeah, just put it in the private chat here, and I'll put it in this generator here.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
Oh, you are good. You're good. Okay. Oh, well. I got a feeling we're going to be watching the Backlash pay-per-view. I think that is all of ours.
Well, not orcs.
Hey, there's still hope. There's still
hope. Hold on, let me see. I don't have a date for the next show. We'll get together after this and kind of talk about a date.
Cool.
But I put these guys we all picked a pay-per-view, and I'm putting a random generator, and that would be the pay-per-view we will be doing on next month's show. So let me just get this up. Share that. Okay. Got all the pay-per-views in here. And click this to spin it.
May the best pay-per-view win. Oh.
So Backlash 02.
All right.
Will be the next pay-per-view we do.
Sweet.
So stop sharing that.
That works. I'm trying to remember that. Backlash actually had some good
main event
ones
in
back
that was my pick. Main event in that is Triple H versus Hogan for the undisputed title.
Ooh.
Isn't Brock on that card too?
Maybe.
Yep, he is with Jeff Hardy.
Oh God!
I guess I can go. I'll go through the card real quick because it looks like a pretty solid card. Tajiri and Billy Kidman, Scott Hall and Bradshaw, Jazz and Trish Stratus, Brock Lesnar, Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle, Edge, Eddie Guerrero and RVD, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Billy and Chuck. Which the match looks like it's probably good, but Billy and Chuck and Maven
with Al.
With Maven and Al Snow, yep. And then Hulk Hogan and Triple H. So that looks like a pretty solid card, actually. So
I want to bring Billy and Chuck back together and have them be managed by Al Suspiria.
Let's do it.
And it's just going to be called No Gay Shit.
On that note, we'll go around the room here and everybody can plug their stuff.
Flesh Wound features on YouTube. All horror, cult movies, crazy shenanigans on there. And we do wrestling once in a while as well. We're covering XPW, which is back, by the way, for those not familiar. So check that out.
Cool. Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for the other night for the Adult Star Tournament. That's maybe one of the most fun I had a show in a long time.
Watch that, yeah.
And I want to say, fuck that, and say thank you for hosting it and putting in all the hard work and hosting those shows,
No
because
problem.
those tournament shows are so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, with that being said, next Friday I'm going to continue the doubleheader night this coming Friday, and we're going to do the selection show for the greatest horror sequel of all time, and then we'll follow that up with the selection show for round 2 of the greatest adult star of all time.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have some new faces in there, and we'll put the top 8, the 8 ladies that finished in the top 8 back in to face this new crop of ladies. So,
okay,
Love it.
Some wild
see if they
cards
can
would be
get overtaken by someone new.
So how many sequels do you need from each of us, and how many? There's a lot of porn stars that were left out of that, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about that after the show here and kind of give you a rundown. So
if Halloween 4 ain't in this, I riot. It'd be worse than Cena.
I've got 2.
Halloween 4, I'm sure I'll make it. So.
Orc, what you got? Do you need more McGriddle reviews? Soda reviews?
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do on my main channel. It's pointless anyway. I have like no subs.
Neither do I, but hey, I still do stuff. Why not?
Not in terms of like greed, but in terms of people that are gonna see it and enjoy it. That's all I give a fuck about.
That's true. That's why I put like 5 minutes of effort into what I do when I make a video.
I'll get a croissant sandwich and eat it in like 30 seconds in a short.
Eat it in a hot tub. Boom.
And then
I enjoy it anyway, so you can remember that.
Have gamer guy water, so that shit.
Get some girls over, have those hard main cold nipples there.
Some main grannies.
That works.
ORC 14566 on YouTube, 0RC 14566 on Twitter, and then on Instagay, Pizza Basement King. No, Pizza. What the fuck is my name on Instagram?
I think it is Pizza Basement King. I think that's what it is.
Hang on, let me check. Yeah, Pizza Basement King 69 on Instagram.
I wish I had a finished basement.
That would be nice. As far as on here,
Random thought.
as far as on my channel, we will have the we will be doing Backlash 02 sometime next month. I'll get with these guys and set a date, and then I'll schedule a stream for it. Also, sometime next month, as soon as this guy right here, Mr. Cable Channel 11, Jess Graham, gets back with me to get some dates, we're going to start back up our Nightmare on M Street commentaries. We got, I think, three or four more movies to finish out the series. And of course, if any of you guys want to join, you're more than welcome. And what else? Oh, I just posted a wrestling figure haul, and I'll have my Easter Arrow video sale haul here sometime this week.
And the 15th, we're doing the 2000s horror. Is that right?
Yes, the 5th. I forgot to mention that. I got to schedule a show for that. May 15th. Did we come up with a time yet, though? Was it 8 Central still, or I don't think we came up with a time.
That works for me. So.
Okay, well, I'll make sure it's okay with Jess and them guys. But if not, 8 Central. But we'll be doing the 2000s horror there.
Can I just say real quick, too, I feel like right now everyone's putting out some really good stuff. So I hope everyone checks it out.
Yes.
It's been fun. I feel like we've been doing a lot of stuff lately. So
yeah. Since like a lot of stuff since pandemic, since that, that what kind of got me into this was that pandemic era, and I don't know. It's been a while since I've done stuff, and I'm having fun doing stuff. Them tournaments are a ton of fun, and I should probably drink less when we do them.
Oh no, that's. I've been watching your clips all fucking day. You have no idea. I've been sitting at the grill, and I was just watching you talk shit about Dan's women.
Well, I'll be sure to be good and cut back for the next tournament then.
You better buy a case or two next
I
time.
will. And Jess, he's already got his list ready. Jess, remind me, because I know I talked to you about it, I think. Remind me if I told you a time, because I don't remember if we came up with a time or not. Corey, don't worry. I'm going to make Jess Graham sit through the remake, whether he wants to or not. So we will get that done. But I guess that'll be it for this show, and we'll see you here next time. I guess Friday for Corey's show will be next time. You see me anyways, probably. I don't know about the rest of these guys.
Oh, well, actually, I think Jess may have a show Friday. I'll double check that.
Does he?
We may move it a day or something. If I'm thinking he said maybe the 29th, so I'll check that and make sure. So
okay. He said I didn't tell him a time, so I'll let you know after I'll talk to these guys about it, Jeff. Yep, Jess, I'm sorry, but you are sitting through it. We're doing it. Because I know it's your favorite. But until next time, guys. Peace.
So you
Better faggots.